Hello and welcome to the Voice of Intuition podcast. My name is Susan Jane and I believe that trusting your intuition is the best way to live your life with meaning and purpose. Each week you will hear about how you can connect, develop and trust your intuition through the wonderful array of guests we have on the show and my own personal experiences. Join me to understand how your intuition can guide you towards a life full of meaning and loving purpose. Hello and welcome to the Voice of Intuition. My name is Susan Jane and I am your host for this podcast. Now, today I have to let you know I had not recorded a podcast for over 12 months now. I did go a little bit AWOL. Life got a little bit tough last year. There was, just to run a podcast, there is quite a lot of cost factor in it. Now, the cost factor wasn't the only aspect when you're paying for recording and you're paying for the podcast and everything else. There was a lot of the time frames that went into it. So it was taking me about 5 hours a week to actually create a podcast, and you don't get any money back for that. So it was starting to hit really heavy and really hard for me. So I had to make some changes. And unfortunately, the podcast was one of those things that I had to stop for a while. Now, the funny thing was that as I stopped it, there was my 12-month subscription due to come through straight away. So I actually did pay that. That's why it wasn't just the money. It was a lot to do with the time. So I paid that subscription because I wasn't ready to let go of the podcast. I felt there was a lot more that we needed to share. I would have liked to have shared, but I just didn't have the ability to do that. So back into the show, back into getting an understanding. 2024 was a bit challenging, a bit different. And now we've got all this new energy coming in. So my subscription for Podbean for the podcast is due up again. And I thought to myself, I'll give it 12 months, see how I feel, see what was going on. And, start it up when I wanted to or when I felt it was ready to. It never felt right until Sunday, the 1st of December. And that's what I want to talk about today. So Sunday, the 1st of December, I had this amazing experience in the early hours of the morning, and I wanted to be able to share that. I've put it on a podcast. I've put it on a blog on my website, intuitivenature.com.au, an Australian business. And I wanted to then actually, it was only this morning, I was out for my early morning walk, and it was like, I should put it out on the podcast because I don't need to do a full 3/4 of an hour like I was doing with the interviews. I can actually put it out there, short, sweet, get it out there, get people talking about it, and let's get moving on this because I feel this is really, really important as we move from the 3D element to the 5D element. Now, everybody's talked about it. Well, all those people in the circles that I know, and if you're listening to this, you probably have heard it too. They're talking about this moving from the 3D to the 5D. Now, a lot of the talk and a lot of the changes, they say big changes are happening because of Aquarius, because Pluto's going into Aquarius, big changes are happening. And sometimes they go off on these great big tangents, like, the governments are changing and this and I get lost. I don't know about you, but I get lost. It just gets overwhelming. It's like, I just can't go there. Shit's happening in my life. I need to deal with that. And worrying about what's happening outside isn't for me. Now, it could be for you, but it isn't for me. And I need to have things that relate to me so I can work on how I can make the butterfly effect work for here. So me stressing and worrying about what's going on over there or anywhere else, I can't do that. I can only focus and concentrate on what's happening with me and where I'm going with that. And then putting that out, putting that energy out, putting that around there. But what happened this particular morning, and I've got notes down here so I don't forget. What happened this particular morning, I had this quite an amazing experience. Now, I've had downloads before, don't get me wrong. Like when I was writing my book, Intuitive Flowers, a lot of it was the downloads. I would say, I don't understand what you're talking about here. Give me some information. And I would get these downloads in the morning or a lot of the times when I was having a shower. And I'd get that information coming through. Now, often when I got that information coming through, it came through almost like as an individual. Oh, hey, do this. Hey, do that. Almost that individual aspect. Really very, very intuitive. This one this time was very different because it felt like I had a band of people, a band of spirit, a band. There was more than one. So I was getting this information. It was like I was in an arena and there was all these people around me, all this spirit around me, and I'm in this arena getting this download and getting this understanding. And I was asking questions as I went along. So a lot of this, and I didn't know until a bit later, a lot of this was to do with Pluto moving into Aquarius. But what came through really strongly was it's the powers. We've got to look at the powers. And I'm going, well, what on earth are you talking about? And we've gone through Marvel where we have our superpowers and things like that. It was almost like our individual energy superpowers, but they just said it's the powers. And the information I got coming through, it was like the laws of attraction or the laws of prosperity, the laws, all those different laws, the laws that we have. And some people will say we've got 6, some say we've got 12. You can look them up. The universal laws is what I refer to them as, like the law of attraction. This is the powers to be able to achieve the laws. Okay, so we've got those laws in place, but these are like the stepping stones to get to those laws or to achieve those laws. And that's what I found really interesting because there's more than one, but they only gave me one this particular time. So I'm just going to have a quick look. What are the powers was one of the things that I asked, okay? Now, the powers are like a spiritual energy force that we all have. So these have all been within us and they've been influencing our lives, but we don't understand the full potential of them. And that's what was really, I found really impressive with it. We've got it all. We just aren't using it to its greatest advantage. And that's what going from 3D to 5D is about, using these powers to a better advantage. So the 4 areas we looked at was they're innate but underused. So we've all got them. We can all do them. We depends on how we want to use them and what it's all about. What's new is their ability to recognize and consciously engage with them. Okay, so that's the difference. The difference is that we know we've got them, but we're not actually engaging with them. They are the path to higher dimensions. So these will help us go from the dense 3D up to the lighter 5D realms. They're universally accessible. So everybody has the power. As I said, we can all do it. And the information I got here was that they are subsequential, you can't even say it. They're going to be, that's probably why I wrote it and I can't say it. They're going to be delivered to us, to me, to you, to everyone in a manner that is allowing us to not get overwhelmed with. Okay. Now, when I got this information, it wasn't about me just receiving it. It's like, oh, no, like, oh, I'm the be all and end all. No, it's not that. There was quite a few that got the same downloads on the same day, the same morning. Well, for me, it was morning for wherever it was. But it's not just one person that's getting this information. It's come through in a lot of different ways. Now, it's come through so people can put it out there and we can get that information. So you don't have to be following me to get that information. You could be following somebody else that's talking about it. It doesn't matter. It's not about, it's not the ego taking this over. It is about you getting the information that you need. So that is really, really important there. And I wanted to be mindful of that because I didn't want to have that pressure put on me that I was the only one who could put it out there. That was a little bit scary, a little bit overwhelming for me. And I wasn't in that position, but I'm happy to share it and I'm happy to put it forward. So the other question is, how do these powers work? Now, this was the other aspect I was looking at. Now, they're tied to the universal laws, such as the law of attraction. Now, with the laws are set in stone. Like these are the laws, and this is what the laws is. However, the powers are flexible. So we can take on as much as we want, or we can let it go. We don't have to do any. And this will be the difference between people staying in the 3D realm or people moving to the 5D realm, okay? The deeper you take it on board, the more you want to take it on board, the higher you will go with it. So it's your choice. And that's what I like. It's still all about choice. It's about you wanting to trust that power that is within you. One of the other things I asked too is, why are the powers emerging now? And that was because of Pluto movement into Aquarius. It was the releasing of those old patterns and starting new ones. It's all about that sort of aspect on how we can do this in a collective form. And that is why this information wasn't just downloaded to me. It was downloaded to so many different other people that have the ability to take that forward and bring the collective up. The people that are receiving this information should not be of an egotistical type. They should not be doing this for the promotion of, it can help their business, but not for the promotion of their business. This is designed to be put out there so everybody can get it. So those people receiving this information would be those sort of people that are happy to give it free. If you want to purchase my books, you got to pay for it. If you want to go on my online courses, you've got to pay for it. But I can give you this information for free if you want to follow along. Not a problem. And because I feel it is really, really important. And I also feel, look, I'm going to be a little bit selfish here. I also feel that if I can do this for everyone, or, put it out there for others, I'm going to get that information too. Because, mate, I don't want to be on the 3D level if I can be on the 5D, okay? So I'm going to be open and honest with you. The more I can give it to you, the more I receive, hey, the more it's going to help me as well. So that's all good, win-win everywhere. Now, the other thing then I looked at is what's the journey ahead about? Like, what does that mean for us? So as we sort of integrate these powers, how is it going to happen? What's going to what does that look like? The first thing was awareness. So observing the energies manifesting. So these powers are energy, as we know, powers are energy, and they're all within us. So we have these energies within us. We have this power within us. And we need to get used to manifesting this on a daily life. We need to get used to using this and enjoying this on a daily life. The other aspect is that it's choice. You do not have to do this. This is your choice. And the other aspect is how you do it is your choice as well. None of this is about you have to jump through these hoops. None of that is about that. This is all about looking within, trusting you, looking within and seeing what you're doing. That's what these powers are all about. That's why they're so important. That's why I wanted to share them so much. That's what they're about. You deciding on what is right for you. Now, we're going to take on all this energy. We're going to be giving all this energy. We're going to get an understanding of all this energy. What resonates with you is what's the important part. Okay? It's not you have to do it this way. This is the right way. It's not that. It's how you feel about it. We've got so many different areas there. We don't want everybody to be the same as we lift to that fifth dimension. We want to have that variety, but we want to also be all on the same path or on the same page, but different. You think about a page in a book. It's got all those different words that makes up the story. And we want all those different spirit, all that different energy that makes up the story. That's what it's all about. So there's the choice, okay? Don't feel you have to be a sheep on this. The next thing is the patience too, as we go further forward, is patience, because these powers are going to come to us over a period of time. They did not give me a time frame. I did ask. You should check the blog for that one. I did ask. They did not give me a time frame. They did not give me an understanding of what it looks like. The whole concept was, how are they going to take on this first power, how the people are going to take it on, and how much they want to move forward on it. Okay, that's what it's about. Okay, so what comes next? The first power that was given to me was called the scissor power or scissor energy. Now, straight away, I wanted to also tell you the reason why they've given it to me the way they've given this information to me is because there's two ways we can this might be more than two ways, but there's two ways that I know of it. I am very analytical, right? So I like to test theories. I like to get an understanding. I'm quite analytical, but I'm very faith driven. I am not religious in any way, shape, or form, but I go faith driven because I believe in myself. I believe in the energy, the spirit that comes through me. I believe in my intuition. And that's what it boils down to. What is my intuition? Intuition is the communication between my spiritual self and my physical self. Okay, that's what I teach. That spiritual physical aspect, right? So, why am I so analytical and yet so spiritual at the same time? Because you think of a lot of religions and faiths and things like that. You have to trust. Now, they're saying you have to trust, but what they're sort of saying is that you've got to trust an external being. I can't do that. I can't trust an external being as much as I want to trust the internal part of me. I need to trust me, because when I trust my decisions and what I do, I can then trust other people, because I can pick up their energy and go, will I go that way or will I not? And that's what I do. So because I am analytical and because we are going from 3D to 5D, we need to address people that are also analytical. And when I say analytical, it needs to make sense is where I go, okay? It needs to make sense. If something that you're putting forward doesn't make sense and I have to trust externally without trusting internally, then I'm not going to follow that. Now, if something makes sense, it means that internally it makes sense to me. I can trust that, I can move forward. So trust is all about internal. So when somebody says, oh, I don't trust that person, they're getting that feeling that there's something there, okay? They're getting that feeling. Why don't they trust that person? Now, they don't have to have an excuse. They're getting a feeling. Now, that feeling may not be 100% correct in the fact that there's energy that person's putting out that is creating that negativity in you because you've experienced it before. So it might not be the full person that you don't trust. There might be parts of it or elements of that person that you don't trust. And that's okay, because what you're doing is, it's not about trusting that person. It's about trusting your feeling. If your feeling says, I don't trust that person, go with that feeling, because that's you. If that feeling says, I trust that person, then go with that. So it's about connecting with the feeling. Now, it's that analytical aspect that makes sense that allows you to trust those feelings. So when I'm doing flower readings and we look at the stem of the flower and we go, okay, that's your path or journey because you've chosen that flower image. That's your path or journey to get to your goal, because flowers are your goals. So what happens with the flower image is they see the picture. They have chosen the picture. They can start to trust themselves because they were the ones who chose the image. They're not relying on somebody else choosing the image. They're not relying on a deck of cards. They are relying on their intuition and what their intuition is saying. And it's that analytical aspect that the stem means the path or journey. The leaves mean your guides. The petals mean your attraction. The heart center means your drive. When you're putting it in an analytical space like that, it allows people to follow, allows people to understand, and it allows people to trust because it resonates with them. If it doesn't, so be it. Off they go. So I've done the flower readings in that very analytical aspect and then allow your intuition to come through, the intuitive messages. The same with these powers. The powers are going to be presented in quite an analytical way, so they're easy for you to follow. And that's why the first power, called the scissor power or the scissor energy, is going to be all about what scissors mean, what does that look like, and how do we incorporate that into our lives. That's coming up next. Now, I've got some of the download for that, haven't got it all, so I'm waiting for all of that to come through. But I wanted to be really particular that The reason why this is coming out is it is going to be analytical. You will get the understanding of it. So then you can incorporate that into your life. If we don't do that, if it's too woo-woo, you're not going to incorporate it into your life. So it has to be in that way. And even in all of the personal growth stuff, in all of that aspect of it, even in doing card readings, in the tarot, you learn in an analytical way about the cards, about this, about that, so you can then trust and understand the information that's coming through. That's why we're going this way. That was the only way I thought that, why is this information coming to me? And it's because I am analytical, because I will trust the theories and I won't put it out there until I know that it's right, or right by me anyway. So the first power again is called the scissor power, and it is about the power of leverage. That's what came through first, which surprised me. Leverage and cutting. And I'm going to go right through all that in the next blog and in the next podcast for that. So the closing thoughts, I'm going to run through that really quickly because I want to keep it short and sweet. So the closing thoughts are about, again, this information coming through, you've already got an understanding of it. It's going to give you a clearer understanding, a logical understanding, so you can follow it better. It is going to come out to you over a period of time, and it is going to actually rapidly evolve around the world and take us from this 3D dimension to a 5D dimension. So I hope you're ready to embrace these powers, because they're coming. They're coming, baby. But that's it from me. Have a great day. Have a great week. And I will catch up with you. I can't tell you when. I'm not 100% sure because this is all new again to me. But I will see you in the near future, hopefully. Have a great day. All the best. Bye. Oh, and the website, intuitivenature.com.au. It's an Australian site. And there's also a little quiz on there to see what your strongest intuitive nature is. I'm going to say bye. Bye.